with this project is to really engage our local communities who are aspiring farmers. And this Urban Farm Learning Lab gives other communities, groups, the opportunity to come learn from Cooperative Extension your business management practices as well as your soil health and farming techniques. So there's different types of agriculture, as we know. This is one of the types, our Urban Farm Learning Lab, our raised beds. In the city of Utica, there is a lot of lead in our soil and a lot of other hard metal toxicities that are contaminants and can cause health issues in the future if you're not gardening properly. So this was a way where we can cultivate soil, but in a safe space, showing our urban farmers that there's other ways of gardening and growing outside of the soil. We're in an area where we were like large industry area, where the lead is coming off our garages that have lead-based paint, or the chipping on your windowsills. A lot of the places of buildings have been taken down and buried, which then contaminates our soils. So where you're growing in a garden, you could potentially be digging up those contaminants, having them on your clothes, and then bringing them into your house. So it's key to have soil testing, which we have available at Cornell Cooperative Extension, Oneida County, as well as other local agribusinesses and resources for those urban gardeners. So a lot of the pipes in our area have been replaced, as well as there's new filtration systems that make it so we're not digesting or consuming the lead that would cause long-term issues. I know in children that's a huge thing with the lead poisoning, but for adults they're not a major concern. But again, we want to make sure that we're taking all the necessary precautions to prevent that lead contaminant in our soils as well as in our drinking waters. A lot of our plants are actually seedlings that we purchased or were donated from local greenhouses, but a lot of times you at home can start your own seedlings. These peppers were actually donated from the Masonic Care Community. They have their own greenhouse and they do all their own seed sowing. So that's just one of the places where we received donations from this year to get our beds up and running. We've seen locally a growing interest in urban agriculture as well as agriculture in general.
Right now I'm primarily growing like different types of flowers and herbs and that kind of stuff. It's still really early, but I have a lot of really big flowers, echinacea, I have lemon balm, it's doing really well. I'm growing a mullein plant, it's probably 6 feet tall or so and flowering. It's really nice. I planted some plants in my backyard, but I never really thought about what to do about the soil. And once we learned some more here, then I know a little bit more about growing in some different soil types and what I can do to fix my soil.
As someone who grew up in the agriculture industry, the biggest benefit as a farmer is seeing the consumers enjoy what you've safely and wholesomely produced. Because you're enjoying it, but we're also enjoying it. We are running a summer series this year through 2021, as well as an additional series through 2022. We've run a 6-week course where we've talked about business planning, soil and health. We're talking about marketing. We're actually conveniently located right across from the Oneida County Public Market. So within the last week of class, the produce that we've grown here at the Urban Farm Learning Lab, we're going to take that out to the market. Hoping that we do have produce this year, seeing that where this is a new program. We have a lot of aspiring farmers throughout Oneida County that have joined our class to learn a little bit more about the business aspect as well as the soil, health, marketing, and bringing their fresh grown produce to the market.
So I've always been kind of like I would say like a hobby farmer. Like I like to have stuff set up in like my backyard, and even when I didn't have space, I did it kind of like the urban way with like air pots. So when I saw urban farming, I was like, oh, this is something that kind of like drew my interest. And then I was like, all right, I was willing to pay money for it. And then I went on there, I saw it was free. So I was like, oh, how great. So and they come in and they teach you a bunch of stuff, like the skills that you need to know for farming.
My son actually came the first time, and I just started doing a flower garden from watching some YouTube videos, and he goes, Mom, you should really come to this, you'd benefit from it. So I came, and I have learned that it is possible. Even at the ripe age of 52, you can go out and venture out and do things, but you need to know about the soil, you need to know about the pests.
We're still working on final dates for the upcoming second series. That's our goal, is to get as many people who are interested in not only being farmers, but also being growers in an urban setting. We really want to reiterate that this isn't just for farmers, it's for the backyard gardener and someone who's really interested in growing their own produce for their families as well as their community. We would love to have you come down, check out the lab. We're here on Saturday mornings during the public market till the end of August. We're hoping that we can have an additional session start up during the weeknights for those who may work during the day but are interested in learning more about urban farming, urban growing. This is really a community-involved project, and we would love for our community members to truly take advantage of learning about the opportunities that growing your own food can provide you, as well as the sustainability and the opportunities it brings for not only you but also your community.